Hello students, a warm welcome in my YouTube channel. In this video we will discuss about acute kidney injury. What do you mean by it? What are the stages? What are the signs and symptoms of acute kidney injury and how we will manage if a child is having acute kidney injury. So acute kidney injury, it is a sudden and almost complete loss of kidney function or renal function. So we will measure the kidney function by glomerulofiltration rate. If the loss, that means decrease in glomerulofiltration rate over a period to the days, it will lead to ARF, that is acute renal failure. It is a clinical syndrome, that means group of symptoms in which sudden deterioration into the renal function that will result to inability of kidney to function or to maintain the fluid electrolyte homeostasis. So this was the definition of acute kidney failure or injury. Now we will discuss the stages of acute kidney injury. It is having three stages, stage 1, 2 and 3. Stage 1 में जो सीरम क्रेटिनिन लेवल है it will increase 1.5 to 2 times as the baseline and the urine output will be less than 0.5 ml per kg per hour for more than 6 hours. In stage 2, the serum creatinine level will be increased 2 to 3 times as the baseline and the urine output will be 0.5 ml per kg per hour for more than 12 hours. In stage 3, the serum creatinine value will be increased 3 times as the baseline and the urine output will be less than 0.3 ml per kg per hour for 24 hours or the child is having anuria for more than 12 hours. Now we will discuss the categories of acute renal failure. The causes may be pre-renal, intrarenal and post-renal. Pre-renal causes, that means sudden or severe drop in the blood pressure or the interruption of blood supply to the kidney. Pre means before renal. Intra means there will be direct damage to the kidney either by inflammation, by the toxins, drug, inflammation, infection or reduced supply to the kidney. And the post-renal includes sudden obstruction of the urine flow due to enlarged prostate or BPH, kidney stones, bladder tumor or injury. We will discuss the causes one by one for pre-renal, intrarenal and the post-renal. Pre-renal ARF, it is due to diminished circulation of arterial volume leading to inadequate renal perfusion and decrease in GFR. The causes are dehydration, hemorrhage, sepsis, hypoalbuminemia, cardiac failure, post-infectious or post-streptococcal acute kidney injury and SLE. So these are the causes of acute renal failure. Causes of intrarenal ARF are prolonged renal ischemia, nephrotoxic agent like aminoglycoside, heavy metals, NSAID and ACE inhibitor, and the infectious process like acute pyelonephritis and acute glomerulonephritis. In intrarenal causes, there will be direct damage to the kidney, either it will be by inflammation, it will be by infection or it will be by nephrotoxic agent. Post-renal failure, it will be by anatomic obstruction into the flow of urine. The obstruction may be unilateral or it may be bilateral. The causes are intrinsic, extrinsic and lower tract obstruction. Intrinsic causes, that means internal, like stone, blood clot formation, papillary necrosis. Extrinsic means kidney से बाहर, retroperitoneal fibrosis, aortic aneurysm. Lower tract obstruction like urethral stricture, BPH, benign prostate hyperplasia and neurogenic bladder. Now we will discuss phases of acute kidney injury. There are 4 phases: initiation phase, oligouric phase, diuretic phase and recovery phase. Initiation phase, it begins with initial insult, that means initial decrease in glomerulofiltration rate and it will end with oligouric phase. Second phase is oligouric phase. In oligouric phase, the serum creatinine, urea, uric acid level and the intracellular cation, it is increasing and last from 2 weeks to several months. Uremic symptoms appear, hypervolemia will there because these intracellular cations, they are increasing and it will lead to hypervolemia and edema and life-threatening hyperkalemia is present. Some persons, they may represent this oligouric phase as non-oligouric phase. That means the decrease in renal function will be there and increased nitrogen retention, but the urine output is normal. In oligouric phase, the urine output is less than 0.5 ml per kg per hour. But in non-oligouric phase, the urine output may be normal and it may occur after nephrotoxic antibiotics or nephrotoxic treatment like or burns, traumatic injury and use of halogen anesthetic agent. So the person may represent with non-oligouric phase. The third phase is diuretic phase, in which the person will pass the urine that is normal 2 liter per day से 4 से 5 liter per day. The causes of diuretic phase are the kidney inability to conserve sodium and potassium and the osmotic diuresis of increased BUN level. So the person is passing the urine, the diuresis is taking place. This phase lasts for several days to weeks and there is decrease in potassium, sodium and water because of urine is passing out as normal. The fourth stage is recovery phase, in which the BUN, that is blood urea nitrogen, and serum creatinine level, they are becoming normal. The urine output will be 1 to 2 liter per day and it may take, the recovery may take 3 to 12 months. Now we will discuss the clinical manifestation of ARF. Signs and symptoms include fluid electrolyte imbalance, metabolic acidosis, anemia, प्लेटलेट डिस्फंक्शन. एनीमिया क्यों होगा? क्योंकि किडनी क्या करती है? एरिथ्रोपोइटिन का सिक्रीशन करती है, तो किडनी का फंक्शन नॉर्मल नहीं है, तो पर्सन को क्या होगा? एनीमिया. इंक्रीज ससेप्टिबिलिटी टू इन्फेक्शन, जीआई कॉम्प्लिकेशन, यूरेमिक सिम्टम्स एंड इम्पेयर्ड वुंड हीलिंग. The person may show, if the causes they are pre-renal, the person may show physical sign of orthostatic hypotension, tachycardia, decreased jugular venopressure, decreased skin turgor and the dry mucous membrane. If the causes are post-renal, suprapubic or flank pain, cloacae pain, neurogenic bladder. Now we will discuss how we will assess if a child is having ARF. For assessment, we will collect the history. For the history, onset and duration of the disease, changes in the urine volume, the quantity, intensity, hematuria, anemia, hypovolemia, shock and major surgery history to be collected. For physical examination, general appearance and the vital signs to be collected. For diagnosis, the urine analysis, urine microscopy, blood investigation, renal biopsy, renal imaging, MRI, Doppler ultrasound and CT scans can be performed for the diagnostic measure. Now, we will discuss what is the diagnostic criteria for acute kidney injury. So, we will categorize as a 3 signs and symptoms. One is there is an abrupt, that means in 48 hours the kidney functions, if they are not working properly, the person may have AKI, which is representing the serum creatinine level will be increased more than 0.3 mg per dl, and there is percentage of increase in serum creatinine will be more than 50% of the baseline. And the third point is there will be reduction into the urine output. So the urine output will be less than 0.5 ml per kg more than 6 hours. That means person will have oliguria. If any person or any child representing within 48 hours increased serum creatinine level, that is from the baseline more than 0.3 mg per dl, and increased percentage of serum creatinine level will be more than 50% and the urine output will be decreased, the person may have acute kidney injury. Now we will discuss the prevention of acute renal failure part. The adequate hydration should be maintained. Prevention and treatment of shock promptly with blood and fluid replacement. Monitor central venous pressure and urine output early in the critical ill patient. Assess renal function test. Give meticulous care to the patient who are having indwelling catheters to prevent infection. The pharmacological management is Lasix, that means diuretics are given. Mannitol, dopamine, N-acetylcysteine, prednisolone, they are given. Now we will discuss the management part. For pre-renal management, replacement of the lost fluid, that means if the child is having severe hemorrhage, packed RBC can be given. For mild to moderate hemorrhage, isotonic saline can be given and monitor serum electrolyte level. For intrarenal management, immunosuppressive agents, glucocorticoids and alkylating agents, they are given. Plasmapheresis can be done. For post-renal management, removal of calculus, bypass insertion of uretic shunts if the child is having carcinoma. If the child is having hyperkalemia, the Kaggelate solution is given. For the emergency hyperkalemia, calcium gluconate, soda bicarb and regular insulin is given. If the child is having hypocalcemia, low phosphorus diet and calcium carbonate tablet is given. Hyponatremia, hypertonic saline is given. Hypertension, salt and water restriction, antihypertensive drug and beta blockers, they are given. For anemia, packed RBC and infusion. Packed RBC infusion is done. And for nutrition, sodium, potassium, phosphate and restricted diet should be there. High calorie diet and low protein diet. Dialysis may need if a child is having ARF. The indications of dialysis in ARF are volume overload, hypertension, persistent hyperkalemia, severe metabolic acidosis, neurological symptoms, increased BUN, and calcium phosphate imbalance is there. The types of dialysis that may need: intermittent dialysis, peritoneal, and CRT, that is continuous renal replacement therapy. For the dialysis, we will make a separate video. Thanks for watching. Do like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you.